Hi, this is Carol with Carol Joes, and I thought I would record what do I do in the day of running my small business. Today, I do have the entire day off from my full-time job, so I have time to devote to my small business today. And I just thought I would go through what I do some days. So, one of the things that I do is that when I come into my home office here, I do look to see what orders have had payment overnight. The way I do things is that people claim the items on a live, I invoice them, and then they need to pay the invoice. So it's not like they're going out to my website all the time to make purchases. That's how people can purchase jewelry, is going to the website directly. But if you wanted to purchase the components to make jewelry, I do that on lives. And so because of that, I do have a lot of invoices and such. And so I see who pays their invoices. And if I do get orders for jewelry, I do not pull those until I am getting ready to actually package. And the reason being is that I pull the orders throughout the day, and I have learned it is better just to do packages once a day rather than multiple times a day. When I first started my small business, every time that someone paid an invoice, I stopped what I was doing. I got it all packaged up and got it ready to go out the next day to the post office. And I found I was constantly having to stop and start a lot, that I just decided, let's try this process of doing it all at once for the packaging and being okay. But for me, I felt like I wasn't doing something when I immediately heard the ding from Shopify. So to help me out and not to make me stress about that I heard a ding, I go in and I pull them throughout the day, or I do them all that I've gotten paid in the middle of the night, all at once in the morning. That way I feel more comfortable, and it's just something that works for me. And so I do have two orders that I need to go grab. You'll see I have my white baskets back there. That is where everybody's orders are at that are waiting for an invoice to be paid. So I need to go grab Sissy's and Julie C's. So Sissy is right here. Make sure, nope, that's not the right one. I grabbed the wrong one. This one is, yep, that one is Sissy's. And then, just gotta get those stuck together again. And Julie C. She is right here. Yep. So, I set them over here on a table so I can see them, that I know I have something to do, but I don't sit there and stress about them. I also don't grab them and go. One of the other things that I need to work on is today we do have a live on TikTok at 7 p.m. And so I need to get all the items. I have had, let me see how many trays. I have 2 complete trays ready with 20 some items. I usually do between 30 and 50 new items on a Friday Night Live. And then I will do what I call bring back, which is I bring back items that didn't completely sell out on a previous show and bring those back in to see if anybody's still interested in them. The items are usually 6 months, 5 to 6 months in between viewings. So sometimes somebody might need more of it, or I have different individuals on this live than what I originally had, or someone was like, I should have gotten that. So I do bring them back that way. I have right now things to work on are the new items. So I'm going to show you my process of what I go through when I have new items. So prior to doing this step, I either have my supplier break down the items into individual bags, which is what we have here. And then I have a couple of employees that will take some of the strands and break them down into smaller bags. The reason why I have strands and bags available is not everybody needs an entire strand of the item, because I do have people that are crafters or just the hobby creators for jewelry, and so this style works better for them, so they don't have so many of the same bead. They can purchase more beads and have a little bigger selection. For those that are doing the jewelry to resell or making it in mass quantities for whatever reason, usually end up buying the strand. I do have that if the strand is under a certain price, it just doesn't make financial sense for me as a business to break it down into smaller bags. So some of the items are not available in a bag. And sometimes the strands are so expensive that, you know, you're not going to sell as many strands. And sometimes I just break them all down into bags. So it all just depends on price points between both of them. So I get that prepped ahead of time, and I have an area here that is just, it's got everything separated out. So all my acrylic beads that I have all prepped and ready are in one spot. All of the glass beads are in another spot. Your gemstones, semi-precious crystals, another spot. Our findings in one spot. Spacers in another. And then we have like cabochons. We have I'm like missing one of my box because I've got them in boxes. It went out of my head, pendants, that's what it is. So I'll have pendants also in an area. And so when I get things ready for like our Friday night sale, it goes in usually in the order of like pendants, spacers, findings, acrylic, gemstones, and the glass beads. I've changed it up, and cabochons are usually a special show that I do on a Saturday and bring all the cabochons to one live. I did that recently, and I like that approach better. I'm going to do the same thing with the silicone beads that I have up for available, and we're going to have a silicone Saturday. I do once a month charms, and I bring just charms out, and everybody gets to select them on that day. So we have different ways of doing things and getting things out to the lives, so they're not always the same thing. And we just mix it up and have fun. But I take what day I received the item is on my little slip here, along with the item number, and then how I have it broken down in each bag on a piece of paper. So then I go back to the invoice that I have received and downloaded and put into a spreadsheet that works for me, and find that date, open up that spreadsheet, and then I find the item on the spreadsheet. All right. In my spreadsheet, I do put what date I put the item up for sale for the first time, just so I know that things are moving off of that spreadsheet and going to a sale. And then I have an Excel spreadsheet that I end up putting the item number and the quantity on one tab. I print out a label. And it's just a label because I use a thermal printer, and they just do labels. And this is when we are on the live, where I write down who claimed what. So that's why we've got that. But up here, I do not have any information right now. That is where I will put the description after I get done with all of my items for the live. I do have another tab on the spreadsheet where I go and get the description of the item from the invoice, because I put information on my spreadsheet of the invoice, and that has all the description, so I know what the item is. And then I put it in the order of what I want when I have it up for sale. So this item is a dark red opaque glass bead, and I take the word bead out because it's, to me, repetitive, because we know we're selling beads here. And then it is a faceted teardrop shape. The size of this bead is 11 by 7.5 to 8 millimeters. We have approximately, I can't spell abbreviate approximately when I do this, 56 beads on a strand. And then I weigh the item. This strand is, I'm going to put into the spreadsheet 49.3. I go a little bit higher than the scale says, and it's just so that we can account for, so, you know, I do giveaways. I do, we put sheets of your invoice in there. You've got the box and all that. And sometimes it just doesn't come out exactly with what this is and what I've already weighed the boxes as. And so I just do it a little bit above, and that normally gets me where I need to be at. And then I put how many items there are. My spreadsheet that I have created, I did put in here how to calculate out based upon the number of items that we have for this one. So this one was an actual, I ordered 20 strands of this bead, and we broke it down to 15 stay in strands, and 5 of those strands get broken down into bags. So, it will take the 20 strands, it will take the cost of the total beads. This one I did have the supplier break them down into the bags. And so there is a cost for that, but it's a lot less to have the supplier put it into bags than it is for me to employ someone to put them in the bag. So I do pay that cost because it is a lot less. So, and then, there's a shipping fee on almost every time we have an order. Very rarely do you have free shipping. And sometimes when you do get free shipping, then they charge you a handling fee. So I will have shipping or handling most times. I did place an order today with one of my vendors where I did not have to pay a shipping fee and I did not have to pay a handling fee. I was amazed. That doesn't normally happen. So then that's in there, and then it gives a grand total, and it divides the grand total by the amount of the beads, and it puts in my calculation of how I create the price points for what I sell it at. And this spreadsheet does that all for me. And so it came up with that this item will be $3.15 a strand is what I will retail it for. I also go in and I keep track of costs of what the items cost for how I am selling it, so that I can determine if I'm breaking even when I sell it. There we go. And so I put that amount into my spreadsheet. And then I also, on my lives, we talked about when I have my lives, I do have a goal that I try to meet for each live. I have a per item goal and I have a show goal. And so I have all of that in the spreadsheet so that I can know, am I meeting my goals? If I'm not meeting my goals, I need to look at, is that item just something that we don't have an interest in for those that were on the live? Or is it that I just didn't have enough individuals on that live? There's a lot of things that can go into it, but I need to be able to know which items did I not hit on goals so that I can figure out what I want to do with that type of item moving forward. So I need to put that goal in. There we go. And then I just slip this into the bag and I put it into my little trays. I have trays that I have all the items in, and I'll show you the tray as soon as I get this shut here. I don't want to move items out of the order. I'm going to put the other one in there, and then this one's going to be full. And these are my trays. I ended up finding these a few, like 2 years ago in the Target, their dollar spot, you know, when you first walk in the store. And so I have only 12 of these, and I wish I had more. But I didn't know what I was going to use them for. I just thought they were cute. And I don't normally buy that way if you really know me. But I'm like, I want those. And I'm glad I got them when I did. So now we're going to start our bag one. So we're going to get that bag. I just copied my description that I had from before without the number of number of beads per strand, and I put how many beads are in the bag. And these have 20 beads in a bag. And then I need to weigh this one. So this one will be 17 grams. I have 14 bags, and then I got to figure out the cost. I wait to figure out cost until everything's divvied up, because sometimes they may say in my invoice, and I took the number of beads in the invoice, and sometimes it'll be more than that or less than that. And so I need to figure out the cost based upon what we have in there. So these will be $3.15 a bag, or not $3.15, $1.15 a bag. And then I got to figure out what the difference is for those 5 strands. Okay. And then my goal. All right. Now I need to go over to my little other tab for the description for the bag and put how many bags are in there, because the item number remained the same, and print that off and put it in the bag. Now, if you noticed, I still do not have the top portion that gives me the description in this. I put them on my table where I do my lives in the order of like 1 through however many. And after I get done with all the items in that I'm going to do for sale on the live, then I create a spreadsheet that can be imported into Shopify, and that creates my items into Shopify. Once I do that, then I use, once again, the thermal printer, and I have smaller labels that I create the description on, and I just put that label at the top up here so that I can read that off when we are live. So, and the descriptions that are there are the exact same information that when you purchase from me, here I have one sitting on my table, you will have a barcode with the item description at the top and the cost. So that's exactly what I put at the top of here, and that's exactly what I use here when someone claims this and we get this ready for their basket. We put the labels on there and have that all ready. I don't put the labels on ahead of time because it just comes down to, if I don't sell all of the item, I end up storing them for a few months, and I don't want them to like get all wrinkly before it gets to you. It comes down to appearance. That's why I don't put them on beforehand. So that is how I get items ready for our shows that we do, where we do the lives, and I bring all the items like tonight. So I just have finished so far. Let's go back over here. I have 26 items ready. I have about another 20 to get ready for the new items, and then I will go get items that were up before. And I do keep track in my spreadsheet of the items that I'm bringing back. I don't need to import those and create new information here. And so I don't have to do that part, but I do put it on my spreadsheet just so that I can see if we're hitting goals of when we brought it back, how did we sell with this one again? Just to get that data for me to analyze. And that. I still, when I bring items back, I use the same form that I did before. I just do a squiggly line, and below the squiggly line is all the new. So I don't reinvent the wheel to bring back items. I was for a while, and that was very labor intensive, and we found if I just use the same one, it works so much better. So that's how I prep for my lives. I hope you guys found this interesting. If you have any other ideas of behind the scenes of what we do here, let me know in the comments. Also, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and follow me. I am going to, here on YouTube, try to do more content about behind the scenes and that type of thing. I do a lot of lives, so when I do lives for my chat times and my tutorials, I do save those lives so you guys can go back and rewatch them. But I just haven't lately been making a lot of content that's underneath the video section, and I need to get back into doing that. So that's why I thought I'm just going to do behind the scenes here for you and see if we can keep doing that. But if there's something you want to see behind the scenes, let me know and we see if we can make you a video. I hope you have a great day. Bye.